Elad, welcome. Thanks for joining the Unstuck Pod. Do me a favor for people who don't know you, don't know the business. Can you share some background about yourself and the company, what you're doing?
Hi Jamie, thank you so much for having me today. I'm a 20 years entrepreneur and CTO with a couple of exits, a couple of failure, and Dive is currently my fifth company. I've been in B2C most of my life. That's my first shot in the B2B world and the SaaS tools. I bootstrapped the company and managed to get it into profit. Luckily, with the AI, our team is like very lean and efficient because it makes our life easier. And we are scaling slowly. Unlike B2C, B2B is more grinding. I don't know. I miss B2C very much, to be honest. And I do a little bit of a fractional CTO work and consulting as well to keep myself busy because I said sales cycles in B2B take months sometimes, and that's really slow for someone that came from B2C.
Yeah, I've seen 2.5 year sales cycles.
Yeah, my last company was a game publisher, game studio, and we reached the 1B valuation. This is a very different experience for me.
Yeah.
So far it's been fun. It's just a little bit of it's different, but it's an interesting experience.
Okay, tell me what caused you to start it. What was the moment? Here you are, you've come from B2C, you've been doing things a certain way, and now you shift. Why? What caused you to shift?
My last company, I was one of the co-founders and CTO. We had a huge exit. We reached the 1B valuation. When I left, we were making 300 million in annual gross, 120 million in EBITDA, insane numbers, and not that of a bigger team. We were swallowed by a bigger company, and then it became corp. And I don't play nicely in corps because I lean companies and small teams and moving fast. It's just a personal preference, and I decided to quit. And then I reflected a little bit on why this company worked, because every entrepreneur, you have your success and you have your failures. And when you success, you're starting to think maybe there was a magical formula or whatever, but it's bullshit.
Yep.
And I had at that time our magic sauce, secret sauce, our advantage in the industry was that we were very data driven, really obsessed about data. And on top of that, we developed a lot of live ops. It's called live ops in the games industry. In other industries, it's a CRM work. We were really obsessed on CRM work. And I've learned over the years that the CRM work, that these tools that you develop, which takes data and not only give you insight but make it actionable insight, that's what makes the winners from the losers. That's what really makes companies grow to a whole new level of service and monetization. I decided to take all that knowledge and build a company out of it. I'm very hands-on because I cannot let go of the hands-on part of the technical. I still write code and DevOps and configure servers. And I started, me and just one more guy, small office, very lean, very simple. And we started writing a lot of CRM and marketing automation tools. But when we started pitching them, we realized that the underlying data was just garbage. People don't understand data. They do not know how to collect data. They do not know how to process it and gain insight from that data. And they just connect a lot of tools, and those tools basically generate, it's a garbage in, garbage out, basically,
Yep.
And then they show those KPIs to their investors, and it's a really mess. I said, well, there's a bigger problem here. You cannot do marketing automation on data that is garbage. Let's fix the data first. And somehow we started doing data as well. Over the years, the industry started calling us a BI as a service company, because we realized that small to mid-sized businesses don't have the time to build in-house data teams. It's very expensive. There are a lot of tools. It's very confusing. Every year there is a conference of some new tool and they push it crazy and that's the new thing. And when you go to the conference and you mention something of the past, people will tell you, dude, you're stuck in the old paradigm, everything has changed. And it's really confusing, mainly for founders and CEOs and product managers and marketing people, because they just want to wake up in the morning and see a freaking report on ROI and ROAS and performance of their product, but they struggle with building in-house teams, and it's a nightmare. So I decided to build they say a BI as a service. We deploy an engineer and a data analyst and a SWAT team of data experts for every company, and we become an extension of that company that they can focus on building products and building services and not building expensive data teams. Big companies, obviously, they have gazillion people and infinite resources. They can afford the luxury, but small to mid-size, they install Google Analytics, which gives you squat. You cannot really get insight from Google.
Sorry, to interrupt you, but I'm with you. You're talking about companies in what industry? So
because of my background, we started with games
and
mainly mobile, B2C, but then we started spreading into education, automotive, prop tech. We have really, the problem repeats itself in every industry. And it's the same story. There's a CEO, and my first question is, how much did you make yesterday? And he's, I don't know. Okay, how many of your clients have a reconversion? They are rebuying the product. I don't know. And they cannot answer simple KPI questions that are crucial for the business growth. This is where we step in and we bring all our tools and knowledge, and we do a kickoff call with the management. We try to understand what they want, the North Star metrics, the business questions, the product questions, and then we take it from there. It's an iterative process. I tried building a 100% SaaS. It doesn't work, because they don't know how to use it. They just use it like any other tool. And if you do 100% service, it also doesn't work, because you just leave them a paper with an audit and they don't know what to do with that. We found out that we must bundle the human factor with the technology factor, and that is what's working for us.
You've had success. You've had some success doing this. What I want to understand is, what got you to where you're at least now? What's worked for you up until this point in terms of drive? You talked about being cash flow positive, growing. You've grown the business, cash flow positive. What got you here?
I bootstrapped the company. VCs do not like when you say there's a human factor involved. They're not, no. And then if it's a company that will grow X, no, they want 100X, a gazillion X, the next Facebook, the next Twitter. They live in La La Land. It's not, I mean, yes, once in a gazillion companies you will hit one of those things, but VCs really do not like this type of businesses. They bootstrap the good old-fashioned way, finance the development in the beginning, and then started going to conferences. I still go to conferences, networking and speaking with people, and somehow you get a few clients here and a few clients there. From the games industry, we landed the partnership through we landed the Hard Rock Group through a partnership, which is a huge client for us. And I think that the thing that worked for us most was keeping things lean. We didn't lose our heads and started renting expensive offices and hiring a ton of people.
Yeah.
Plus, with AI, we downsized we were around, I think, 20 people, and then with AI, we downsized to we're not even 10 people now. And then that's another problem when you have the CTO and the CEO in the same role.
Yeah.
I love refactoring everything. I woke up one day and I saw that our AWS bill is expensive. And I said, I'm not paying the same hard drive over and over. Let's decloud the whole thing. And we cut it from $20,000 a month to $800.
Wow.
And I did the same thing in Playtika, and the company that acquired us. We managed to lower the cloud bill from AWS from $2.3 million annual to $100,000 annual.
Wow.
You're wasting, every time I did it, we managed to cut over 90, even 95% of infrastructure cost, because it makes no sense. And in some cases, I mentioned that I do fractional CTO work. I had a client that the company hired to develop their software, they built a software as if he's going to have millions of users, and then I'm connecting to the servers and I see that they have a peak of 20 people
Yeah.
per second. And I started laughing. I said, dude, the iPhone 7 can manage this traffic. We cut all the fat and we lowered them. They were around, I think, $6,000 a month. We lowered them to $600 a month. And
Wow.
it's really, really a lot of money that you burn and you throw down the drain. And if you save this money and keep it lean and just invest in smart marketing, B2B marketing is expensive, actually. We do a little bit of podcasts and PR and some posts, and you land another client and another client, and we managed to float and always keep the company lean, which got us into cash flow positive really quick,
Yeah.
which is really amazing.
Let's talk about the challenge for you of going to the next level. You've done a lot of great things around getting it to this level. It's fantastic. Now let's talk a little bit about the challenge of the next level. What's holding you back, or what's been holding you back over the last little bit to get there?
Well, that's my session with Jamie about how I'm going to unstuck my business. But basically, B2B growth is slow, and you have to create a pipeline of deal flow that is insane. You have to hire a small army of SDRs and account executives and build this whole pipeline for sales that is just very expensive for a small company that bootstrap. And now I started investigating other opportunities that arrived out of the blue with the different private sectors and government. It's really exciting. This year I'm really expecting that we're gonna make this huge level up. In games you level up, it's the same thing. We need to level up. And also we, over the years, specifically in games, and I think that this is relevant to every industry, to be honest. Every industry, every product have the pattern that the founders, the management are looking at the same KPIs. If you have a dating app, they look at the same KPIs. If you have a specific game, it's the same KPIs. We created a SaaS, a light version of our product. And now we are creating a free premium enterprise. The BI is a service that we are doing for a very low price. We are going to categorize it for enterprise, and we're going to create a SaaS that is more easy to ramp up for small businesses and showing basic KPIs. Sometimes these basic KPIs are really, really valuable. Something as simple as install, retention, engagement, session length. These are the basic stuff that are relevant to a ton of products.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think they can move the needle, completely move the needle.
Of course. Anyone that is developing products, by the end of the day, they want to get more eyeballs looking at that product. The more time they spend inside your app or your product, the more opportunity you have to engage with them, monetize them.
Yeah. Okay.
That insight is valuable. And I think that product development should be this way. I worked even though I'm a 20-year CTO, I also took a VP product role for about a year and a half. I've experienced that side as well. And if you focus your team around a specific KPI, session length or retention, magic happens, because all the other stuff just start accommodating on its own. Revenue will follow, If you focus on one of those funnels and you polish them, then the money will follow. It always does.
I get the revenue will follow if you focus on one of those funnels. So the question for you is, which funnel? Which funnel are you following?
In products, mainly in mobile, I love starting with the crash rates. That's my favorite.
Okay.
Because when something crashes, you get sick of it and uninstall. That's your first reflex. I mean, Spotify works amazing, but if it starts crashing every time I put a song, I will try finding an alternative. Users are impatient. They don't have time for stuff that doesn't work. They want everything to be perfect. And it's really, the absurd thing is that it's really easy. You have a gazillion companies and SDKs that will show you the crash rate. Even Google gives it for free. And polishing, just fixing bugs, because products just need to work. It's as simple as that. If they work, that's a great start. And I love the basics. I am a strong believer that if the foundation is strong, then it's easier to build on top of that. Crash rates, loading funnels. Sometimes you load loading is super slow because of something happening in the back end, or there's some assets that are heavy assets that you're downloading. If it's a workout application and you're downloading a huge video and it's slow, then people are impatient. They want everything, even if it's not possible technically, they want everything to work fast. They are just impatient. Basics, and then retention, then the FTUI is the first time user experience. That's the onboarding, which is also crucial because you need to explain, you need to feed the user with a spoon. Do this, click here, do that, hooray! And these are basic, really basic things, but you will be surprised that many developers ignore that. They just jump into water and launch stuff and hope for the best.
I like the attitude. By the way, not that you would ever need to come and work for me, but the attitude is great because I love that. I'm not technical. I've been around B2B SaaS for forever, but I'm not personally technical. I love that attitude. It all has to work. Has to work well and easily and no problems. Anyway, I love it. It's fantastic.
I had several projects in my life. I did a couple of turnover for companies projects, and I've had one project that the polish took twice than the development time. And it makes sense. It makes sense because if you look at the best products and the best services and the best apps in the world, the polish, the finish level is just amazing. If it's a phone, it just works every time, zero problems, and it's, for me, it's happiness. As a user that uses other product, I'm super happy when I touch something and it just works flawless.
If there's one piece of advice you want to give to the audience, you're a successful multi-time entrepreneur, what's the one piece of advice that you would give them?
Well, first of all, keep trying, because I don't think that I've met with this guy years ago when I was a kid, and I asked him what he thinks about successful people. He was a very successful guy, and he said successful people just keep trying over and over and over and over, because failing is normal. And I love the attitude of failing fast, because the faster you fail, the faster you can either pivot or throw away the idea and make another one. And you just have to try and try and try and get up back on your feet and try again and try again. And that's one of my biggest and most important advice. And for those of you who are out there building services or products, data is amazing to give you insight about, crash rates and loading funnels and all the cool and nifty stuff. But sometimes you just need to listen to your user. So make it easy for them to complain. Make a huge button of contact us, complain here, what don't you like? Those reviews help you get a ton of feedback from people, and it helps you build better services and better products. So listening, that feedback loop is what builds better products, better companies. Guy and industry, so I'm still involved.
That is okay. So please tell everyone where they can find you and follow what you're doing.
LinkedIn obviously is the best way to reach. My email is Elad, ELAD, at Dive Data. I have another email for the games specific. It's elad@dive.games. And the website, obviously, dive.games or divedata.co. And yeah, I'm super available on LinkedIn. I'm taking meetings with people. If you are in the East Coast, New Jersey, New York, I would love meeting in person, because the whole Zoom thing it was nice in COVID, but I really miss meeting people in person and having coffee, and it's nice. Bonding is crucial. Bonding before business.
For business. I love that. That's great. So listen, Elad, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. I will make sure we add those links into the description after. Thank you everyone for watching, listening, and have a great rest of your day.